Hey guys, so I just wanted to share a few drink recipes with you. I've gotten a lot of questions recently about how we can still drink within the diet and not completely diminish it. There are some healthful alcohols out there, so I just wanted to address some of those with you tonight. I'll give you a few recipes. And again, just another point with the alcohol, you never want to go overboard with it. Everything in moderation. So if you have 1 to 2 drinks, it actually could be beneficial to your health. If you go further than that, you can actually be doing some damage. So it's a very fine line that we're walking here. So first we're going to go over vodka. So vodka definitely is the lowest in calories. It has no carbohydrates. So in that respect, it's not, the worst case scenario in a weight loss situation. So this one's not going to break the bank. It comes down to the mixers that we're having with it. So what I have here is some blackberries. I have fresh mint. I have Schweppes, which is the blackberry sparkling water. So no calories to this, no artificial ingredients, and I have some agave syrup. So we're going to mix all these together in our nice little mixer here. You need something to muddle with to mix up the berries. So whatever you have on hand, even if it's a fork and a bowl, whatever's going to work. So I'm making 2 drinks. So I have 6 berries here. It's about 1/4 cup. So if you're just going to make 1 drink, I would just do about 1/8 cup as I drop a berry. My floors are clean. All right, so let's put the blackberries in. We're going to put all the mint in. So you want to get a good bunch of mint. Doesn't have to be a lot. It really just depends on preference. I tend not to measure things too well because I've just kind of learned how to eyeball it. So you want to just start smushing all the berries and the mint together as best you can. It's good to get ripe blackberries for this because they smush a little bit easier, and then you can mix it with the mint pretty well. So once you've got that muddled together, we're going to add a little bit of agave syrup. So maybe for 2 drinks, about maybe a tablespoon at the most. All right, so that should be good. So again, you just want to kind of mix that up a little bit more. Now, the next step is going to be the vodka. So if you want to measure it out, you can do that first. I'm actually just going to pour some in my glass to eyeball how much I'm using. So for 2 drinks, you want to say about 2 ounces a drink. So 4 ounces. And that is about 4 ounces right there. Might be a little bit shy, so I'll just do a splash more. Again, just eyeballing, but you never want to go totally overboard with this stuff. Being drunk is never a good thing for you. That's usually your body telling you that you have had an overload of toxic stuff. So you just got to be careful. All right, and then the rest, you're just going to pour however much seltzer that you want. So for 2 drinks, we're going to bring it up to about 16 ounces total, so about 8 ounces a drink. And then you can just mix that up. And then let's put some ice in the glass, however much you want to use. And so another good thing about vodka, it's known to reduce stress. It's actually more effective than red wine. So it could be a good nightcap. It's really popular in Russia for curing everything. I wouldn't necessarily say that any of that's backed by, solid science or studies. Some of it is. So for instance, drinking 1 vodka drink a day helps reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes, stroke, Alzheimer's. So those are good things. So, just again, it all comes down to moderation. If you have the appropriate amount, then you can get away with having a drink a day. If you tend to get a little overboard, you might want to just save it for the weekend. So I'll put a little bit in there. And here is our nice little drink. And that is delicious. And I'm not even a vodka person, but that is awesome. So there's one option with the vodka. So next up on our list, we've got bourbon. So with the bourbon, we're going to make a little twist on a Moscow Mule, which is typically done with vodka. So we're going to use bourbon. We're going to use all natural ginger ale. If you want something calorie-free with natural ingredients, you can use the Zevia. It actually tastes pretty good. It's not bad for a soda. So this is what I'd go with. And we're just going to use a tiny bit of agave for sweetener. So let's just go over some of the health benefits for bourbon. I was actually really surprised by this because I figured whiskey was heavy, I figured it was dark, I figured tons of sugar and carbs. So it's actually really low carb. For about a 1.5 ounce serving, it's got only 0.04 grams of carbs, which is pretty significant. Bourbon, like many other alcohols, contains ellagic acid, which is an antioxidant that can kill cancerous cells. So drinking it daily can actually be beneficial. But again, just like we talked about before, you want to think about moderation. So 1 to 2 drinks a day can be beneficial. It's been known to reduce stroke or dementia by about 50%. It can also decrease your chances of getting type 2 diabetes by about 30 to 40%. So let's go ahead and make our Moscow Mule. So what you're going to want to do first is we're going to need some lime juice. So you want to use fresh limes. Typically bottled lime juice has a lot of other crap in it. I don't know if you've ever read the ingredients. I actually just did the other day, and there's tons of stuff in there. So I always prefer the most natural. It's not easy to do. It's definitely easier to just buy the lime juice, but this will taste a whole lot better and your body is going to respond to it a lot better. So just want a couple limes in there. All right, we'll do one more for good measure. And again, we're making about 2 drinks. All right, so we've got our lime juice in. So next I'm going to use the calorie one because this one actually has fresh ginger in it. It's got better ingredients. So even though it's got some calories to it, maybe a little bit of sugar, I prefer the more natural solution, especially when you're drinking alcohol. It's something that would just taste a little bit better. So just stir up all the fresh ginger at the bottom. We're just going to pour the whole bottle in. Next, we're going to do our bourbon. And you can just eyeball it. So maybe about 2 to 4 ounces of bourbon. If you're making 2 drinks, you probably want to do 4 ounces. So I'm going to fill right to the top line. That'll be about 4 ounces. And one more splash for good measure. Okay. So we've got our bourbon in. We've got our soda. I'm just going to do a little bit of agave, maybe half a teaspoon. You don't want to do too much just because the soda is going to be sweet. Bourbon has a bit of a sweetness to it. You just want to mix it up. And if you want to garnish your drink, you could take one of your squeezed limes. So once you got that well mixed, you're going to pour about half of it into your mug. So it's about half. Put this down here. You've got your delicious little Moscow Mule. And that is a great way to drink bourbon. I have to say, that's delicious. So that is the Moscow Mule. That's bourbon. Next up, we're going to talk about tequila, and I'll show you guys my signature margarita, which is my favorite drink on the planet. So here we are, last but not least, my favorite tequila. Tequila's got a lot of health benefits, and a lot more studies are coming out about it now. So you might see some things discussing how tequila aids in weight loss. Basically, it's the agavins in tequila that help aid in weight loss. It reduces your appetite. So if you're looking to lose some weight, this could be a good drink for you, on a night out when you're looking to, have a drink. If you're not drinking, there are substitutes for the alcohol. So if you want something alcohol-free, just send me a message and I can give you a substitute recipe. Also with the tequila, it helps reduce blood sugar, which is great, especially for people with type 2 diabetes, any form of diabetes, really, it definitely helps with that. Also with tequila, it's kind of an old wives' tale, but also there's some backing to it that it helps cure the common cold. So there's a lot of benefits to it, even with treatments and medicine. There's been problems in the past with drugs getting to the colon without being completely broken down by stomach acid. So basically, this helps the drugs get delivered to the colon without being broken down by the stomach acid. So this is really great for, any major diseases, Crohn's disease, IBS. This can also help with cancer treatments. So this could be a good thing to include in your weekly regimen, whether or not you're drinking daily. Again, you want to stick within moderation. If you're drinking on weekends, this is probably a good go-to. And I know I didn't address wine or beer here, but if you are a wine or a beer drinker, you want to go for, again, quality drinks. So as far as beer, avoid the Miller Lite, avoid Bud Light, avoid Coors Light. Those things have terrible ingredients, especially Newcastle. There's actually a list. So if you Google harmful beers, a list should come up and you'll be able to see, I think it's maybe 10 to 20 beers out there that, have toxins and all this other stuff in it. So you want to avoid those. Go again for the natural stuff. So with our little signature margarita here, my favorite drink in the whole world, again, you want to use fresh limes. So you're going to squeeze some lime juice. And you can either do this right in your cup. If you're making more than one drink, it might be easier to make it in a container like this. So again, you want to squeeze them pretty well. So we're not using any sweet and sour mix. We're not using any liqueurs. This is pure tequila, pure lime juice, and agave. That's it. And let's do a little bit more. So we've got our lime juice in. You can actually just stick some of the squeezed limes in your drink. From here, we're going to add a little bit of agave syrup. So you want a little bit more than normal. So again, maybe a teaspoon or a tablespoon, depending on how sweet you like your drinks. With a margarita, you typically want it kind of sweet. So I normally do about a tablespoon, depending on how much I'm making. So you can just mix that up. From here, we're going to add our tequila. Tequila, I do about 4 to 6 ounces for the margarita. I typically stick to 1 to 2 margaritas, so maybe anywhere from 2 to 3 ounces a drink. So that's about good. So it's a bit stronger than some of the other drinks we've made. If it's too strong for you, you can also add like a lime seltzer or something, lemon lime. That can also break it up well. So mix it pretty well so you get the agave mixed in. So this is one of the simpler ones, and all we're going to do is pour it in the glass. So this makes 2 drinks. So we've got 1, 2, and we want to make sure they're about even. So a little bit more in this one. And we're done. So this is the signature margarita, one of the simplest drinks, but again, one of the best I've ever tasted. It's really good. It's really light. It's strong, so really you can only handle 1 to 2 of these before it gets a little too silly. So again, with any of the other drinks we made, stick to 1 to 2. If you're a man, you can have 2 to 4. And I just wanted to address some mixers. So I know it's sometimes easier to just go ahead and buy a store-bought mixer. So I actually found one at Whole Foods today. It's for a mojito. They have ones for margaritas. They have ones for cosmopolitans. But all of the ingredients are all natural. And it's cold pressed, unpasteurized, never been heated, frozen. So this is really like raw, organic, good stuff. So the ingredients in here is filtered water, cold pressed Persian lime juice, 100% organic agave nectar, and natural mint oil. So you really can't get much more natural than this. If you don't have rum or anything like that, you could even use tequila or vodka and just kind of make your own little drink. And for anything else, if you have any other questions about like a different type of alcohol that you like or liquor or whatever, just message me. We can discuss it. And I hope this helped. So I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I hope you enjoy these cocktails. Let me know what you think. Thanks.